my name is Adriana and today I will be going over my reading goals for 2023. So this should be a fairly quick video. I just kind of want to run through my quick goals for what I want to do for next year. So before I jump into it, please consider liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to my channel if you like bookish things. So the first goal I have is, again, I don't want to do a book count goal. I just would like to read the same amount of pages from this year to next year. And considering this year isn't quite over yet, I'm going to wait to kind of announce that final page count until my stats review video coming out after the first of the year. But my goal for 2023 is just to match where I'm at with 2022. 2022 blew my expectations out of the water. I was expecting to read like 14,000 pages, just about physically read 14,000 pages, and I blew past that in like September. So like I've had like a whole extra quarter of reading more than I expected. So if I can just match the page count I'm currently at, I'm not expecting any sort of growth. I'm really happy with the amount of reading I did this year and fitting it into my life with my kind of busier schedule. So, matching page count. The next goal I have is I always set myself a goal of reading one kind of classic literature book every year. This year, for 2022, it was to read a book by Ernest Hemingway. For next year, I'm going real classic. I picked up this copy of The Odyssey, translated by Emily Wilson, the first woman to translate The Odyssey and get it traditionally published. So I am very excited to read through this. I think it's going to be super cool. I've heard so much about this translation already from different classicists and how, you know, having a different perspective translating the Odyssey has really changed a lot of the meaning in different parts of the book. So I am so excited to finally read this epic in its entirety, and hopefully it'll help me kind of appreciate some of the different, you know, kind of Greek feminist retellings that have cropped up recently. I am excited. I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be really neat. It's probably going to take me a good long while, but I think it's going to be very cool. My next goal is also related to a specific book. So last year, or I guess not last year, we're still in this year. We're still in 2022. So for 2022, my goal was to read the first book in the Poppy War trilogy, The Poppy War, because it's a series that I had heard a lot about. I really wanted to try it out, but I was just very intimidated by it. So I knew if I made it a hard goal to at least try the first one, and if I enjoyed it, I could continue on, or I could not if I didn't enjoy it, but I just wanted to try it to get over my intimidation factor and read it, and I did, and I loved it. So I am setting myself another intimidating fantasy series goal, and that is I want to read The Shadow of the Gods. I've heard so much about this book. Everybody who's read it has just adored it. I've heard it's incredibly well written. I'm really excited to pick it up and hopefully love it as much as I did The Poppy War. My next goal is to reduce my physical TBR by 50% and keep it at that 50% number. So I will insert like a little short clip of my current TBR shelf. It's in my bedroom, and I guess pop up like a book count of where I'm currently at with my physical TBR, because I have no idea. But I would love to get it down to half of what it is now and keep it there if I can. So I don't think my TBR, my physical TBR, is like all that outrageous. I would like to get it down a little bit and keep it down so I'm actually reading the books I'm buying. Continuing on with that vein, I would like to reduce my book spending by about 25%. By 25%. There's still a couple days left in the year. Hopefully this number isn't going to change too much, but my current book spending is a little over $1,000, I think. Again, I'll go over that in my like stats review after the first of the year, but it's a little over $1,000, I think. So I would like to not spend as much money next year. And I do have a couple strategies to kind of go forward with that. Obviously, with my goal of reducing my physical TBR, I want to read books I already own. I really want to push myself to borrow a book from the library before I just order it and read it. So I spent $85 to get a library card from the Seattle Public Library, which is a much larger city in Washington than where I reside. My library system is super great and they typically have like a lot of really great options, but not always everything. So I do have that library card that I spent money on. So I'd really like to push myself to utilize that resource more and hopefully save myself some money in the long term. And I will still be ordering books and pre-ordering certain books just because it's something I either know I will really enjoy, like the Shadow of Perseus. I already pre-ordered that because I was obsessed with Daughters of Sparta by Claire North and I'm obsessed with Greek mythology. Either way, I'm probably really going to enjoy this and I'm going to want to put it on my Greek mythology shrine. I've also pre-ordered Cradle of Ice by James Rollins because I'm obsessed with James Rollins and I'm gonna want it to go with my Starless Crown that I really enjoyed. So I'll still order like books from authors I really enjoy and want to collect, especially if there's like a signed edition offered. I know James Rollins usually does like a signed edition with a little doodle in it. I'll still be ordering and pre-ordering some books. Like I said, I don't want to like totally cease my spending on books, but I would like to reduce it by a fair margin. And then finally, my last reading goal for 2023 is to get my NetGalley ratio above 75% and then also try to maintain it there. So like I assume most people, have a really bad habit of just going on like a NetGalley request spree when my current NetGalley ratio is only like 50 to 60%, I think. Again, I have a couple strategies in mind for this. I would like to start doing some more kind of like NetGalley vlogs where I just read a bunch of my arcs right in a row. Again, this also connects back to my not spending money on books. Obviously, the NetGalley arcs are free to me with the expectation that I write a review. That should hopefully help me reduce my spending on books a little bit. Unless obviously I like fall in love with the book and I want to like own it physically, but we'll see. Again, I'm not against spending money on books, but there's been a couple books I've bought and then realized I didn't really like this, and it makes me so sad to unhaul a book that I like bought and paid money for. So I want to make sure that I'm really spending my money wisely on books I loved and either want to reread or want to display because I really enjoyed them, or buy them so that I can lend them out to my friends and family. I really enjoy doing that. I love being able to share my annotated copy with my friends and family, so that's always really fun for me. So I do like having physical books and buying physical books. Anyway, that has nothing, well, that's tangentially related to my NetGalley goal, but I really need to get better about actually reading my NetGalley arcs and putting up worthwhile reviews. So those are my goals, reading specific goals for 2023. I guess this video will be augmented a little bit by my stats review because so many of them are dependent upon how my reading went this year. So we'll see. I'll talk about that in that video in a couple weeks. So thanks so much for watching and I will catch you on the next video.